So Batman has been a part of my life since since I've had memories. Seriously, I can't imagine a time before that.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining me today, Danny. I am super excited. It's always really cool when you meet people online and then, I guess, become friends with them. I'd say
Yeah,
we're
right?
friends, right?
Yeah,
um,
absolutely.
awesome. Good. Cool. So, Danny, would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. So my name's Danny. I'm a fourth year vet student at Cornell right now.
Mm-hmm.
And so right now we're kind of not in clinics, but we just finished up technically. And then I will be doing a small animal rotating internship in New York City the following year, starting in June.
Awesome.
I have a big interest in surgery and other things about me that have nothing to do with vet med. I'm a huge Batman fan. I like to surf, and I have a dog named Mongo. He's a beagle.
I love it. Love it. What's your Instagram so people can go follow you?
Oh yeah. So follow me at Dr. Danny Sack. So Dr.DANNYSACK.
You said you're in your fourth year, which in America is your final year, right?
Yes. Yep.
So you're basically supposed to be graduating really soon.
Yeah.
But we are going through this whole COVID-19 situation in life at the moment. So what does
Yeah.
that
Good
mean for
stuff.
your graduation?
Yeah. So a lot of changes have been made to both my curriculum and then the curriculum of students below me. So my graduation is essentially canceled. They haven't really told us exactly what's going to happen, but plans are to maybe do like a virtual kind of graduation in the nearest future, or schedule an entire separate event in like a couple months from now once everything is like a little bit better, fingers crossed, only a couple months. And then we would be able to come back together and maybe have a ceremony in person. Everything's really up in the air now, and like it's totally based off of how fast things recover and where we're all at with our situations. But either way, it's going to be really different. Like not we're not going to have the same audience. It's not going to be the same feeling. We'll already be veterinarians at that time, and so it's a little weird. Other than that, other than like graduation changes, we've transitioned entirely to online. And so originally we would have had the opportunity to do extra rotations, do in-person research, stuff like that, take classes at the school with, underclassmen and stuff like that. But now it's all, we're online Zoom University right now, basically. Yeah, exactly. And so we have, scheduled, you sign up for courses, you have scheduled assignments and tests and stuff, but that's really it.
I would like to know, because I feel like a lot of people would like to know this as well. Do you have a favorite study method?
Ooh, this was a huge adjustment I had to make, actually. So I'll like just start from undergrad. In undergrad, I was the type of person, I would take all my notes on my computer, and then I would just like read through them, memorize a bunch of stuff, and be fine. Like I would go into the exam and I would be like, yep, I recognize this. Penn State was a huge school, so all of our tests were always multiple choice. So there really wasn't like a lot of need to develop good recall memory. It was just like recognize the keywords and you'll be fine, which was fine. And like, it was a rigorous enough curriculum, but that totally bit me in the butt when I started that school. I tried that out, and my first semester was like, it was horrible.
Yeah,
it was so
I feel like it just would not work.
I've never done so poorly on exams in my entire life. And so I spent a lot of time talking with mentors and teachers my first semester to like learn how to learn. And the biggest adjustment I made was transitioning to a lot more drawing. So especially for like anatomy, starting with a blank slate, and, if that unit was musculoskeletal, I would, draw every muscle on the hind limb. And I would learn it that way. And same thing for the vasculature, same thing for the nerves. And then, trying to, because I was very much a visual learner. And so that kind of helped both, by like manually learning it from writing it, but also seeing a picture in my mind. And then, I could replicate that when I went into a test. And then the other adjustment was I would handwrite outlines. So I would type in class because, the professors speak at 1,000,000 miles a minute.
Tell me about it.
So there's no way to do it. I see some people that manage to handwrite, and like they're wizards. That's not possible. But you know, the really, really big learning point was going back and then handwriting or outline and summarizing my typed notes, but in handwritten form. And for whatever reason, that just made it so I was able to recall that information a little bit better. And it would also allow me to condense my notes, so I wasn't looking over 50 pages of typed notes that I had taken over weeks. I was maybe, you know, it was a 1-page summary for each lecture. And so it really helped condense that stuff and really focus on only the important stuff that I would have to worry about for the exam.
It's definitely like to learn how to learn, I would say.
Yeah, please take that advice early on. Like definitely learn it early, and don't be afraid to change entirely how you study, because you know, that was a really big comfort zone for me in undergrad, and something I was, you know, totally fine with. And I really didn't anticipate it being as not successful as it actually was. And there's people also that were totally fine with that. You know, I have some friends that have just like the most ridiculous memories, and they're able to do that, and that was awesome for them. And they were able to spend more time on like the micro concepts and memorizing really, really specific things. But I don't know, my brain just doesn't work that way.
No, I'm not that kind of person.
So yeah, exactly. So I really had to just focus on global concepts and then fill in the really small things once I was comfortable with the bigger, more important information, honestly.
What did you do prior to your vet application? Because you guys have to do like an undergrad or something before that, right? Or some study?
Yeah. So undergrad is 4 years at whatever institution you choose to go to. I went to Penn State, which was the greatest 4 years of my entire life. Oh my God, I miss them so much. That was a lot of fun, but you know, you want to major in something related to what you're trying to go into. And so my major, specifically at Penn State, was veterinary biomedical sciences, which was like a pretty unique major at that school. A lot of other programs have animal science majors, and then other ones don't have like any animal related major at all. You just would do like bio, which is fine. And that's what a lot of people do, and a lot of other schools offer. But for me, I did Penn State for 4 years, and then I went straight through. So I didn't take a year off. A lot of people will do a year or two off to get some more, you know, veterinary experience or research experience, depending on their interests.
Right.
I got that experience kind of during my breaks, and so around you know, Christmas and like December and stuff, and then over summers I spent my time, you know, shadowing in different vet hospitals, working with different veterinarians, and getting, you know, large animal but also a lot of small animal experience.
You got to write for the DVM 360 article. Would you like to tell me about that? Because that's really
that was really fun. I managed to like just come in contact with this guy Adam Crispin, who's the chief media officer of DVM 360, and he was like, you know, it would be really cool if we could hear about your experience during COVID, and you know, how this is affecting you as somebody who passed boards, got an internship, is about to start an internship, but then like the whole end part, the whole celebration of completing 4 years of hell, basically. How that's changed, you know, what's actually happening and what that's like for you. And so during that time, it was also right after all the changes had been instituted, so all the emotions were like pretty raw at that point. And you know, I was definitely still upset about it, so it was pretty easy to write about it too. And so in that, I basically just like went through what it was like getting to that point, and then what it truly means when like that celebration, that the end of that line is what it feels like when it's taken away, but kind of focusing on the greater picture of everything, and that, you know, this is an opportunity for us to really put into work what we've learned these last couple of years, and you know, really start making a difference early on.
100%.
It was really cool, you know, kind of seeing that message shared throughout, you know, Facebook and stuff like that. And you know, a lot of people are like, they felt that way. They really like they got it, which was really awesome to see. So I'm really glad to see how far that message was able to be spread, because there's a lot of people that, you know, really got screwed out of a graduation and you know, are about to start their first jobs, and it's unfortunate, but
It
it's
is.
also, a good opportunity for us as early clinicians, really.
Yeah, and as you say, it did definitely touch a lot of people. I saw that being shared by so many different accounts. So
Oh, that's awesome.
yeah, it was amazing to see. And in terms of kind of just going from what you've learned and I guess trying to make the best of a bad situation, tell me a little bit about hashtag Take Back 2020.
I had that idea a while ago. It was like a really long time ago, and it was right in the beginning of 2020 when we just started off the year just awful, awful. There
Mm.
was no good that happened over and over again, and every single time something happened, I was like, all right, now's a good idea to post it, and then something else would happen. I'm like, all right, well, we got I'll wait for this to relax a little bit, and we can start from there. And it just kept on getting worse and worse. It was insane.
It was.
And finally, Wancho posted something very similar to that, and it was, let's focus on things that are positive. And I was like,
Mm.
yes, like somebody's into this. And so I messaged him really quickly. I was like, hey, I've had this idea for a while. Would you want to, help me with this? And he's like, yeah. And so we talked about it for a little bit, and I had already put together a group of people that I see on Instagram, spreading that same message, spreading, a lot of positivity, but also sharing their stories a lot, that I think a lot of people could relate to.
Yeah.
So you were on that list for sure. And a lot of other people that are just really, really great in that, our Vetstagram community. It was really cool how receptive you guys were to that. And then for those of you who haven't seen the post, basically we all spelled out hashtag Take Back 2020. And I basically photoshopped a bunch of our pictures together so that it spread that message, and we all shared it relatively simultaneously, so that it kind of just blew up over Instagram, just flooded feeds essentially. So it was nice to see a lot of positivity come out of that. It's cool.
Yeah, and I think
Thank
reading
you for
through.
being a part of that.
Oh, thank you for inviting me to be part of it. It was great. I think
Yeah,
just
it was
even
really
reading
fun.
through the comments of people was awesome because
Yeah,
it really did. It kind of made them stop and be like, okay, it's been really bad, but there
yeah.
has been points of 2020 that have been good, or there are things that we're still excited about that we can look forward to and that kind of thing. So yeah, I
Yeah.
reckon it was really good for the Vetstagram community.
Yeah.
Also, you mentioned that you really liked Batman slash
Oh
do
yeah.
Batman slash
Hmm.
bats. Would you like to delve into that?
I would love to. So Batman has been a part of my life since I've had memories. Seriously, I can't imagine a time before that. I have a Batman tattoo. My car is the Batmobile. I have a Batman tire cover on it.
Oh my
It's
gosh.
literally just surrounded my entire life. I have a Batman scrub cap. But yeah, I've always really much just identified with it. When I was little, my parents to get me to eat. I was a really picky eater. They'd be like, "Oh yeah, it's bat steak." Not that it was made of bats, but they just added bat in front of everything. It's bat broccoli, bat noodle, bat whatever. Just eat the freaking food, Danny.
Yeah, come on, Danny.
Yeah, but yeah, I think I've always really really identified with the whole Batman universe, because it's a regular person. Granted, he's very wealthy, which is a little bit out there
Yeah.
from normal circumstances, but it's very you're not blessed with superpowers or whatever that allow you to do your job. And so it's really cool, and it's just something that I've tried to draw lessons from, inspiration from,
Yeah.
whatever, and then just a whole bunch of entertainment, obviously.
I love that. I freaking love that. I'm very much, I love anything to do with watermelons and anything to do with alpacas. So
Love it.
everything in my life is related to either of that kind of thing. I'm one of the easiest people to buy presents for, because you literally just have to see something that looks like watermelon or alpaca related and they're like, okay, we're going to get that. So I can imagine you with Batman, you'd be very similar. You also mentioned you have a few hobbies.
Sure. So I love to surf.
Mm-hmm.
I'm from Long Island, so my standard of surfing is really low, pretty low expectations, which is great. So everywhere in the world, I'm pleasantly surprised.
Yeah.
So I've been surfing since I was a little kid, which I cannot do in Ithaca, which is unfortunate. It's where my school is. I play drums. And I have like a little electric drum set in my room, so I get to play that. And it's a nice thing I can do with some of the clinicians at school. My roommate plays guitar, so we have a little jam band every so
sweet.
often.
Nice little band.
And then I try to play a decent amount of intramural sports here. And so we have like a town soccer league, a school basketball league and stuff like that. Obviously, none of that stuff is happening now, but during the year, just like some nice things to blow off steam, see different people than the people you see every single day, and just do something, physical and different.
Definitely.
So that's nice. Those have been like my kind of go-to things to during stress times, especially.
Yeah, it's always like really good to just get out there when you're stressed, hey, and just like get yourself moving and your mind off just everything that you have to do, eh?
Yeah, for sure. I'll like go to the gym a decent amount, but it never like clears my head the way that people say it always does. Like I always like get a lot more of like a relaxation from like playing a team sport or something like that, and like actually being surrounded by other people doing the same thing, not just like in like a condensed space lifting weights.
I'm 100% the same. Getting me to the gym is not the easiest thing. But like we go out and play netball or touch rugby and that kind of thing. And I really enjoy doing that sort of, social.
What's netball?
What's netball?
Yeah. What is that?
I'm
do
sorry.
We have an equivalent?
What?
Wait, do we have
My
an
mind is
equivalent?
like blown. You know what netball is?
Is it basketball? Is it soccer?
It's like basketball, but you're not allowed to move with the ball. You like once you catch it, you have to stay still and then pass it off.
I think we call that handball here.
Okay, handball for us is like totally different as well.
Whoa.
Okay, my mind, honestly, I'm like, what?
I also never played rugby, and I want to learn, but I'm scared. I feel like I'll get wrecked. Is there like touch rugby? Is that
so that's the other thing that I do.
I
play touch. And that's you literally, it's a bit different. It's like a lot faster, but you just touch people instead of tackling the people. Yeah.
Violently tackling. Yeah, that sounds a lot safer.
Well, I keep like my teammates always like call me out because apparently I'm not very good at just like touching. I like when I see somebody, I like lock onto them and I like slap them and like you've been touched, and they're like, Leanne, calm down, like just need to touch.
Touch rugby, Leanne. Jeez.
Yeah, not slap.
Yeah.
So, oops.
All right. So we have a very large Australian population actually at Cornell, and there are some things that they say that I'm like, wait, what does that expression mean? I recently heard good on ya. That was like a little phrase I'd never heard, and I was like, what does that mean? And he's like, oh no, good job. I was like, oh cool, nice. There were other things, and there's some food, some like it's like a dipping sauce or something like that, or sauce you put on a lot of sandwiches. Apparently Americans don't think it tastes very good though.
Oh, Vegemite?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that's because Americans don't know how to use it. So in Australia, it's Vegemite, and in New Zealand, it's Marmite. They're very similar.
Okay.
Between the two countries, it's like a little bit of a war type thing, like which better.
Okay.
But basically,
which one is better?
See, I live in both countries, so I don't know if I should say.
Oh, geez. We'll know where your allegiance is.
Yeah. So when you guys use it, right? So you put it on toast. That's the best time. And what you do is you put like quite a bit of butter on, and then when you use the Vegemite or Marmite, you just spread it so thinly that it's like it's there, but it's not. When you guys do it, I think your problem is you literally like chuck it on as if it's peanut butter or something, and then you eat it, and you're like, far out, that's disgusting. But it's because you're doing it wrong.
Yeah, it did not taste very good.
No,
tried that one time. It was awful.
Yeah, no.
It hurt my mouth.
Yeah, exactly. It's because you're just using way too much. So try it again, and I promise you, when it's just a nice thin amount, you will appreciate it a lot more.
I promise the second that happens, I will let you know.
Oh, great. I'm thrilled. Thank you so much for talking to me. I have absolutely loved this.
No problem. This is so fun.
Yeah. Before you go, I would like to know, if you weren't a vet, what would you be? You can't say Batman.
Damn. All right. So I have a friend who is a professional scuba diver, and
Mhm.
he is sponsored by Rolex, and he just like goes around the world to see like the coolest reefs ever, and he just like dives with their equipment, and they just like pay him to do that. And that sounds like the coolest job ever. Like
Far out.
amazing. Yeah, so
Yeah.
I would do that in a heartbeat. But
Okay.
I don't know like what qualifications I would need to do that.
Yeah.
Like how many people can do that? So like the
Mhm.
job market there is probably insane. So realistically, I think I would be a teacher.
Ooh,
I
okay.
really, really love teaching, and that's also been like a second avenue I would love to pursue, like within vet med. I'm not necessarily like teaching at like a vet school, but like teaching about like veterinary medicine. Like I had a lot of really cool teachers in undergrad that were they were vets, and they would teach courses in anatomy or just like medicine, whatever XYZ. And I always thought that was really cool
Wow.
to kind of like spark those like young aspiring future vets kind of thing.
Which is kind of what you do through your Instagram anyway.
Oh, thanks.
Well, like I say, thanks again for joining me. It has been fabulous and nice to hear your voice rather than just read your messages. So, yeah, thank you very much.